Baldoni's the bad guy. And just to lay it out for the audience in a little bit more detail.
Bryan Freedman tells TMZ Miss Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster. Bryan Freedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, has just shot back at Blake Lively's motion to dismiss. Blake is abusing the legal system. 3 exclamation points.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did.
Bryan Freedman and Blake Lively. Let's talk about it. Okay, so listen up, y'all. Hollywood ain't all sunshine and designer bags. It's straight up messy, like a Sunday dinner gone wrong. We talkin' lawsuits, hush-hush settlements, and honey, some serious celebrity shade throwing. Now, Bryan Freedman, that lawyer who is handling all the rich folks' drama, he's knee-deep in some legal mess that, get this, involves Blake Lively. Girl, you know them A-listers. They ain't just sippin' tea. They are spilling it in courtrooms with all the dramatics.
Because actually, Blake Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan, was planting stories negative to Justin. And all Justin wanted to do, and it's all through the text messages. If the New York Times apparently reviewed 1,000 or more pages of text messages, they would have seen it. Justin never wanted to hurt her, never wanted to be negative to her. He wanted to protect the film, he wanted to protect himself, and he wanted to protect her from making negative allegations about him that were made up and that are proven in this case, and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin. There's a number of different defendants here. Stephanie Jones will be all over this complaint. That is the PR agent who was supposed to be working for Justin Baldoni. Leslie Sloan, who's another PR agent who will be part of this lawsuit. That was Blake Lively's. Blake Lively will be sued, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
You know them folks ain't dealing with no regular, polite courtroom etiquette. We talk in Hollywood, where a little disagreement turns into a full-blown showdown, like a church hat competition. And listen, Blake ain't just sitting pretty, let me tell you. She's moving and shaking, and according to Freedman, she's pressin' for that settlement like she tryna get the last piece of sweet potato pie. Whether she using that star power to twist some arms or just plain OL good persuasion, this case is hotter than a fresh perm on a Sunday morning. You better grab your popcorn, cause this is a whole production.
What they did was they worked with the New York Times. Her publicist worked directly with the New York Times. They shared illegally obtained text messages. They shared those together. They concocted a complaint that they filed with the Civil Rights Division. They omitted texts that would have provided context, texts that were in the exact same string that would have provided context of what was really going on. And in fact, they actually removed emojis from texts that show that there was satire and there was joking around by the PR crisis agents. I mean, the PR crisis agent.
Now, see, Freedman ain't no rookie to this game. He's been down in the legal trenches with the big dogs, the top-tier celebs. So, when he says Blake's making it hard for the other side, you know it's some real tea spillin'. Cause in Hollywood, honey, ain't nobody a skin nicely. They demand, they maneuver, they make it happen. And if a settlement's on the menu, best believe Blake ain't waitin' for no snail mail paperwork. She's moving with the quickness, like she's trying to get the last seat at the Sunday service.
She initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal system. Freedman says stringent rules are put into place to protect the innocent and allow individuals to rightfully defend themselves, while noting laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda. In his statement to TMZ, Freedman reiterated, as we said yesterday in response to Mr. Reynolds' same cowardly measures, we will continue to hold Ms. Lively accountable for her actions of pure malice, which include falsely accusing my clients of harassment and retaliation. Freedman summed it up by saying Blake's fantastical claims will be swiftly debunked as discovery moves forward, easily disproved with actual evidentiary proof.
So peep this. What's Shorty really up to? Word on the street is, she's applying all the pressure, trying to get this whole situation wrapped up quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, don't get it twisted. She ain't in no courtroom throwing around them fancy legal terms. 'Cause you know Hollywood royalty got folks for that. Nah, she's using that influence, that power, that only someone with her kinda clout can wield.
Okay, so this is an excerpt from my new favorite book, which is the website that Justin Baldoni published, all about his correspondence with Blake Lively. And this is one of my favorite excerpts with my new favorite Game of Thrones character, Blake Lively. Are you ready for it? And him serving it back to her is just as important. You don't usually see both the man and the woman with such agency and humor. Anyway, I can act it out for you next week to make sure it comes through. Or I can send it now. Let me know what you prefer. XX. To which Justin Baldoni responded, sorry, I was just crying my eyes out as kids and family just left for another 5 weeks and it was a shit show. Heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji.
Now, let's keep it 100. When them A-listers want something, they aim to skin nice. They calling up the crew, dealing up the connections, and sometimes even leak into the media, trying to steer that ship in their direction. And if there's one thing Hollywood hates more than a lawsuit dragging on, it's that bad press. So, if Ms. Lively is pushing for a settlement, best believe some narratives are getting spun behind closed doors. Now, let's get into Bryan Freedman's situation. That man ain't no punk, he's seen some things, and he ain't going nowhere. But even a legal heavyweight like him knows, when a Hollywood star start pulling them strings, things get real messy real quick. It's one thing to argue in court, but it's a whole other thing to fight against an industry machine that's all about control in the public eye. You feel me?
Baldoni's the bad guy. And just to lay it out for the audience in a little bit more detail, what she's claiming is that even though she was a much bigger star than Justin Baldoni, who I never heard of before this lawsuit, she's the much bigger star, and she's married to an even bigger star than she is, Ryan Reynolds, that she came in and onto this project and started to get harassed and mistreated by Justin and some others, and that when she then demanded that all of her concerns be rectified, that he did it, but that he was basically lying in wait for when the film would get released in case she went public with what happened, that he and his PR team determined to bury her, to ruin her, and that this wave of bad press we did see about Blake Lively when the film came out this past summer was not organic. It was totally orchestrated by Justin and his team.
In this city, baby image is everything. And if Miss Lively wants that coin, honey, it ain't just about them legal papers. It's about spinning that narrative, making sure her story hits the streets first. We talkin' strategically placed press releases, whispers in the right ears, you know, that real insider tea. And hair race the real kicker, y'all. Settlements ain't always about who's wrong or right. Sometimes, it's just about making them problems vanish, poof, like they never even happened.
Blake Lively writes, I can send you my pass at the roof, or just read with you when we get together next week. Let me know what you prefer, smiley face. If you knew me in person longer, you'd have a sense of just how flirty and yummy the ball busting would play. It's my love language, spicy and playfully bold, never with teeth.
Listen, in this Tinseltown, where your name is your net worth, honey, the quicker you bury that mess, the better. If that lawsuit lingers and starts spilling tea that nobody wants sippin', then a settlement becomes the only sweet relief. And if Miss Lively is pushing for that settlement, best believe she ain't playing no games. She ain't talking no lip, and definitely ain't talking no. Period.
And I'd like to apologize to Justin Baldoni because he treated me well and did nothing wrong, and I allowed him to sit in a basement with his family because I was starstruck by Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, that Blake Lively was the aggressor in this now epic showdown. Was it right after was it when Baldoni dropped the countersuit? Was it when Bryan Freedman put up the website with the 170 pages and all the text? Or was it right away when the Times wrote?
Right away. I've always had an intuition about her, and I've always had an intuition about Taylor Swift and like the branding of the nice girl stuff. And something just didn't. I went through Justin Baldoni's Instagram, and he just seemed like a puppy. And I read it just didn't add up to me that this guy was secretly just dying to talk about pornography all the time and talk about his porn addiction and wanted her to look at pornography. I'm going, this is not the Instagram feed I'm looking through. And I went back years.
Now, you might be sitting there, head cocked, a skin. Why sis Lively so pressed? What's the tea? Well, let me spill it. It's all about that control, honey. These Hollywood queens, they gotta keep that narrative tight, you feel me? And these drawn-out court dramas? That's a whole mess of unpredictability. The longer it drags, the more secrets slip, the more mess gets stirred. And if there's one thing these celebs can't stand, it's not knowing what's gonna pop off next. Now, Freedman, he ain't no fool. He's playing chess, not checkers. He know when to throw shade and when to let the drama simmer. But if Lively's fixin' to fast-track this whole situation, he ain't just dealing with legal jargon. He's dealing with a full-on Hollywood power play, and that's some serious messy boots energy.
They actually did it is far less fruitful, right? The text about like, we could, here's what we might do if we need to, those are everywhere. The text proving they did, far less ubiquitous in this complaint. And what you've said now in your lawsuit against the Times is, don't even believe the texts that you see in the Lively lawsuit because they're seriously misrepresented, omitting major facts that would give them an entirely different meaning, never mind greater context. And that's where I want to bring you in.
Now, hold up. Don't sleep on the other folks in this drama, you heard? They might not be Shireen like Ms. Lively, but they ain't playing either. If they ain't jumping at a settlement, best believe they think they got the receipts to win this thing. Or, just maybe, they know how to play the game and squeeze out a bigger bag. See, in Hollywood, honey, lawsuits ain't always about right and wrong. It's about who got the most clout and how to use it. It's a whole game of leverage, and they ain't afraid to play dirty. They know how to hold their cards and make the other side sweat. Don't underestimate them. They might just come up with the winning hand.
It was monstrous what she did, and she's got to pay for it.
Live birth porn.
I think Ryan Reynolds has a few secrets in the closet, too, that they don't want people to be taking a look at, and it's going to destroy these people. That's why they wanted this attorney's eyes-only privilege. And basically, we can say anything. The public can't see it, just the attorneys. It was kind of a radical thing to want, and they were arguing that, careers could be ruined. Well, what could be ruined? You might be a little embarrassed, but to ruin a career, there has to be some level of fraud in terms of how you're presenting yourself to the public and who you are in private. And so that kind of a desperate sort of a pleading, which was to do something that was abnormal and file for this attorney eyes only, which they didn't give them. He kind of half-weighted and said, according to medical records, which is self-explanatory. But that lets me know that they're scared and they're not going to admit that until they lose the dismissals. And then I think they're going to want to settle.
Aight, so where do we stand in this whole shebang? Well, right now, it's a whole lot of wait and see, you feel me? But if Freedman's dropping hints that Lively's in for a quick finish, then best believe this ain't gonna be dragging on like a Sunday church service. Somebody's gonna have to throw in the towel, and if Lively got her way, it ain't gonna be her. 'Cause in this Tinseltown game, it ain't just about who's telling the truth, it's about who got the biggest pull to make things shake how they want. And if Lively's pushing for that settlement, it ain't 'cause she's crossing her fingers. She's laying down the law, knowing how to make them folks dance to her tune. She ain't playing, she's commanding. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, let's talk about it. If you're feeling the vibe, hit that like button. And if you're new to the fam, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop the latest and greatest. Thanks for tuning in.